any questions before we roll into this?
No. You should know that we're not live.
I know that.
All this is going to be edited.
I know that.
Okay.
We already talked about that.
Okay.
This is going to be part of your middle-aged women podcast. And I'll be like, my son doesn't think I know what a podcast is. I know it's not live. Hello? Like,
I know how to do things.
Right. Like, I might be older than you, but I do know some things. You know? Yeah.
I do know how to snap.
I'm cooked.
Okay. All right.
I'm pretty relevant. I stay relevant.
Yeah. Well, you've got James and your daughter to help you with that, so.
They don't really help me with that.
No?
No.
Oh, man.
Papa's more relevant than you.
Oh, that's not true.
He knows about the brain rot.
He does know about
what's the brain rot?
You're too old for the brain rot.
It's like this video series with all these things from the internet that are terrible.
It's just really stupid.
But isn't like everything?
I love it. It's great.
Drew,
do you know about brain rot?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know exactly what brain rot is.
Okay.
Well, my husband is on a brain rot frenzy along with this other frenzy where he watches Lord of the Rings with real people voices for the orcs, and he thinks it's the funniest thing he's ever seen in his life. And he watches it over and over again, and he'll just walk around the house and be like, can't take his draught. Grond, like just talking in the normal, like a valley high voice, you know? Yeah, he sings that all day. He sings that all day.
Is that brain rot?
Yeah.
Okay, so
stupid.
So
My husband loves that.
I want to incorporate this in the episode because I'm just so intrigued by this.
Skibbity toilet.
Yes, skip. Okay,
Skibbity toilet.
See, I am familiar with Skibbity toilet.
Okay, that's brain rot.
Okay, my son watches all these YouTubers, and they like Skibbity toilet is this guy. His head is inside a toilet.
Yeah.
And he like talks and
it's really stupid.
it is really
It's scary, honestly.
It is a little scary, and it's also just like I guess brain rotting, right?
Yeah, it is brain rotting.
yeah.
I think that's why he likes it. But he'll walk around the house singing it, and everyone thinks it's hilarious.
So brain rot.
Brain rot.
Is it just anything that's stupid on YouTube, or is brain rot
it's
a particular?
No, it's not a channel. It's just like a genre. It's a genre of video.
Man, the last like. I'm trying to think of how long my son's been watching YouTube on the regular. Probably like at least the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 7.
Oh, yeah.
So at least let's say the last 4 years. My life just makes so much more sense now. I feel like the clouds have parted.
Yeah.
And the sun has come out, and it's just
brain
like,
rot.
And now I get it.
Yeah, you get it.
And if my wife was here, she would be like, yeah,
Oh, okay.
she would be.
It rots your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's also
and that's what,
like a hilarious part of culture.
Yeah.
It is. Right, because there's all the like Skibbity toilet, there's all these like YouTube creations that have become intertwined in all these YouTube videos. So there's also like Siren Head.
Yep.
And all these mythical
There's the
Is the corn
chicken
song?
the chicken nugget Cotton Eye Joe video.
Oh yeah.
What
You know about that one?
I think so.
What about the talking orange? Is that?
No, that's old.
Oh,
That's old, but
old.
Wouldn't that be considered brain rot?
Yeah,
though?
pretty much.
the corn song.
No, that's
Drew's
just
saying
pain.
yeah. Drew is saying yeah.
I think like I would count like Annoying Orange or like It's Raining Tacos as
yes.
like
Raining
old,
Tacos
old
for
school
sure.
brain rot.
That is old school
that
brain
is old
rot.
school brain rot for sure. Every time I think of it, it's so funny you mentioned the talking orange because that is so ancient. I feel like everyone has forgotten about it.
You know how I
That was
know
before
about
my
it?
time.
It was before your time because it had a Nickelodeon show. Is that what you said, Drew?
It did.
Yes, I remember that because it became so popular on YouTube. I remember my cousin, who is 10 years younger than me. He was prime age. He was a kid when the talking orange or whatever the heck that name they called that thing. He watched it nonstop.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know, 8, something like
There's
that.
a video of me singing as the orange
Oh my gosh.
on TikTok.
We got to find that.
Or it might be, yeah, it's on TikTok.
You can see it here.
Right here.
I have like 6 TikTok videos, and I think they're all really fantastic.
Wow.
I need to be like Joe Rogan has like Jamie. I can be your guys' Jamie that looks things up.
Yeah, we all need a Jamie.
Yeah, put it on the
Yes.
screen. Put it on the screen.
Yes,
Definitely.
Yeah. So this is how we're starting this episode of Kankakee Podcast. Welcome. I'm Jake LaMore, and today is a very special episode. We have the pleasure of speaking with a dynamic mother-son duo who are making waves in our community here in the Kankakee area with their passion for the arts. I know our listeners are really all about the arts here in the Kankakee area. And so I'd like to welcome Mary and James Leroy. They have combined their love for visual arts and music to create a unique community space called Kankakee Arts ColLAB or ColLAB. I'm not really sure which one.
Either or.
We'll get into that. It's located in the historic Majestic Building on Schuyler Avenue in downtown Kankakee. It's dedicated to fostering creativity and providing a platform for local artists and musicians. And we're thrilled to have them here to discuss their journey, their vision, and all the exciting projects they have in store for Kankakee. So welcome, Mary and James.
Totally, yeah, thank you.
It is Leroy, right?
Yeah.
Or
Well, it's both.
not Leroy.
Technically, it's Leroy.
It's technically French and it's Leroy, but half of our relatives say Leroy and the other half say Leroy. So
Yeah.
we answer to both.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah,
So
because
as a French Canadian
Yes.
descent, I can, because there actually are that now we're once again getting off topic, but there's actually a group of Lamores that are actually Lamars.
Oh.
And but it's spelt
Interesting.
differently too, but we're actually like
You're the same.
we have
yeah.
relations. We come from the same
Yeah,
descendants, but
Interesting.
there's Lamars and then there's Lamores. So
totally.
yeah, like the Lamar I think is more of like the French Canadian original, and then like the Lamore is like the Parisian American
Yeah,
version
Yeah.
of it, because it definitely sounds so much more Parisian French
Totally.
than French Canadian French.
yeah.
And the French Canadian French is like, it's almost like the hillbilly version of
Yes.
Parisian French. I don't know. That's what I always think of, just
Yeah.
because the pronunciations can be so different
Yeah.
and so vast. But anyway,
It's like Bourbonnais and Bourbonnais.
oh my gosh,
I brought it up.
you did bring it up.
Sorry
I
about
am thankful that in the what was it, the 1970s, I think they're finally like, nope, it is Bourbonnais.
Yeah.
We're making it Bourbonnais. There should be a fine for every time someone mispronounces it.
I just did it to. This is just an
$50.
example. Just an example.
There should
of
be.
Leroy.
I am gonna walk up to the next Village of Bourbonnais meeting and present that for public comment and see what happens. I'll do the same thing for the people in Joliet too, because people love to say Joliet.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's,
Oh, yeah.
That's way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Joliet
Yeah.
just
Jo-
sounds
Joliet's crazy. That's diabolical.
too jolly. Who likes the word jolly? You're so jolly.
It's a good word, but
think
just
it's
not for the
weird. It's
town.
old.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of weird. Word.
Okay, all right. Let's get back on
All
track.
right.
So, Mary and James, what inspired you to create the Kankakee Arts ColLAB?
Well, for me, it was just needing a space for my bands to play. We love playing out and playing in other towns and cities, but there's nowhere in town for us to do that or our friends to do that, because a lot of places in town are not all ages, and that's a very important thing to us, because I know when I was in 8th grade, I was very bummed anytime there was something that was 18 and up that I wanted to go to. And I don't want to do that to anyone else. So it was definitely just finding a place for me and my friends' bands to play those all ages. And, well, there's nowhere to find, so we had to make it ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
definitely. I think, Drew, we need to cue up the round of applause for James for what he just said, because what James just said is a decades-old problem
Yeah.
here in Kankakee County and probably counties all across the nation.
Totally.
because when I was in the scene, it was the same problem. And then
Yeah.
even before that, like
Yep.
in the 90s, that was a
Yeah.
problem,
Yep.
and
It
so
was.
on and so forth. Like, it's just always been a problem. It's been hard to like consistently have an all ages space that is like sticks around and is a mainstay. Because what
Yeah.
happens is one pops up, it only lasts for so long. Maybe it could be months, it could be maybe a year, or
Yep.
but you guys are trying to say no. You're trying to plant some,
Yeah.
put some steel in the ground and say, hey, this thing is not moving.
Right.
This needs to stay.
Right.
Is that the wave we're making?
That's the wave you're making. At least
That's awesome.
that's my take on it. And I just really, the first time I met James and I learned about his music background and the all ages music scene that he comes from, because and maybe it would, like, bring it up, James, maybe it'd be better for you to kind of like explain. I feel like the big disconnect is a lot of people don't understand like the concept or the idea of an all ages scene. I feel like there's just that it's almost like a foreign concept to a lot of people, I feel like. And like, how do you describe it to people, and how important is it in your eyes?
Yeah. Well, I think, in my opinion, music and music scenes start and develop in the youth, in young ages. Like, that's where it starts. It starts with the younger people. And so without them, there isn't a strong music scene at all. And so that's what's significant about it. But I don't know. It's just it's more of like a community, I guess. It's just a strong community, and it's just people that care about each other and just want to see each other do well, I guess. I don't know. Does that answer it?
No, I think that's a good.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's just it's right. No, you're right. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's a community, and it's mainly, the most of the people in the scene are under 18 or under 21.
Right.
Except
At
me.
least. Exactly. Well, there's got to be,
There's
the
exceptions.
matriarch. There's always a matriarch, a patriarch, all the arcs in there that have to foster this,
Well, we saw, I saw James going down to Peoria quite a bit for shows, and we'd go see his band, and it's harder to do that in the city, and he didn't get a lot of traction there because he was young. And I saw that community firsthand, and that really goes hand in hand, like the community of the like small venue music scene goes hand in hand with all the other community events and the art events. And so when I started thinking about it, I've thought about it for some time. We kept talking about it, like, can we do this idea? Look, this is a great idea. Is it feasible? Should we do it? And then I think we met with like 5 or 6 people for advice. And one of them said to us, if you're developing community, you can't go anywhere. You cannot abandon your community. You have to stay here, and you have to have a commitment to that. And did that impact you? Because that really impacted me. Yeah. And I think after that, we decided, well, I'm definitely not going anywhere. And we can do this.
This is, even if I haven't played out here a bunch, this is the community that's raised and fostered my musical development. Even if it's not specifically from playing shows, like other older musicians here that have taken me in, without them, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. And that's important. And I want to give that back to other younger people that have the same passion that I do.
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mary.
Oh, I was just going to say, James has been mentored by so many people in the community, people running sound in the Olivet community, people in local bands, and just really thankful. I don't know if you know this yet, but you really cannot raise a child alone. You really need other adults in their lives that want to give to them and want to talk to them about things that maybe they don't want, even if you're very close. James and I are very close, but obviously he doesn't want to talk to me about everything. And having other adults is really key to being able to raise kids well.
Yeah, it goes back to that old saying of it takes a village
It really,
to raise a child.
it
It's
really
silly,
does.
as silly and cliche as that sound, as it sounds. That's so true. And I'm learning that more and more as I get further into my, parenthood as well. So, yeah.
I mean, everybody wants community. We were really made for community. We weren't made to be alone. So I think like humans are just, we search for a place to fit, and we search for a place where we can find value and joy. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I want to connect the older folks to the younger folks and make the younger folks start bands.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
And I mean, to kind of put this out there too, I feel like maybe something we skimmed over too, a big part of the all ages music scene usually is crafting and writing your own music as well.
Yeah,
that's
huge part of it.
That's a big part of it the majority of the time.
Yep.
And I would say that's one of the big differences between that scene and the like the 21 up, the bar, the bands and artists that are playing the bars. Not that those artists don't write their own songs, but that's like it's more of like
it's more entertainment than it is
yes,
often
right,
creative.
Yes, exactly.
Like my criteria for a new band that wants to play, I say, have 15 minutes of material and keep it to 2 covers.
Mm-hmm.
Keep mostly originals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even within James's music scene, like we're doing variety. We had 4 teenage girls sing and play guitar last Sunday. Mm-hmm. So it's not just his like, what do you call that? Niche?
My scene. I don't know. My friends.
It's multiple, kinds of music. Last night we had not last night, the night before, we had a folk sing-along, and there were quite a few people of multiple generations. So
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It was a little bit of heaven.
So, I guess you kind of covered this a little bit. You're wanting to bring all the generations together.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do you plan on doing that in the ColLAB space?
Well, it's hard.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It helps that we're 2 different generations.
Yep.
It does.
You know, I'm a connector, and it's largely what I like to do best is connect people together and create something. And so, I think we have a lot of my friends and peers coming to help. And then we have a lot of James's friends, and I'm very tail into Gen X. So, and then we've invited quite a few people to join us that are older generations. So it's just knowing people in your community and going a variety of places and living here your whole life and doing what people like. So we're trying.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah, and I think what's cool about this though too is that I know a handful of artists in the county that mainly when they're playing shows, they're playing other people's material, but they write plenty of their own material, but they just don't get the chance to perform it.
Yeah.
So I think some of them might be coming through the woodworks and being like, hey, this is a place that I can play my original songs and it's accepted.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that's exciting for them as well. As obviously James pointed out, the fostering the next generation too. So now I've heard, I still haven't come to the space yet, but I needed to do that. But I've heard that there's like 2 distinct rooms, right, in the Arts ColLAB. So what are their purposes, and how can you describe what these 2 different rooms are?
So do you want to do this?
Our large room is a non-profit space, and we're doing that because we want to be able to let the community use this space. And we're really not trying to make money off of this venture. So we decided to go for a nonprofit space just because it's it has the ability to include more people. We can get donations and we can give receipts. And so when we have shows, we actually hire our bands to be able to fundraise for our nonprofit space. The other space next door is for-profit space, and that is a place where artists and musicians, local crafters, and bands who come can sell their merch. So what it is we want to encourage each person who's involved to do something in our free space for the community. And we also want to encourage them, maybe they don't have a place to put their local music where people can come and buy it. And maybe they craft two things and they don't have a place to put those two things. So as we grow, the goal is to have that open most of the time so that people or have regular hours. So that's a cooperative because it's a business space. So thus the two spaces.
Yeah.
And Dave Barron helped us create that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Dave's such a great guy.
He's been really instrumental in helping us figure that out.
Yeah,
so.
he's been very supportive of the podcast as well. And very grateful for his support and all the different things he does. And that's good. And especially considering with the closing of Moon Cookie Gallery, that's actually, I'm sure, I wouldn't be surprised if you've already had some of the artists that were selling their material there have reached out to you and being like, hey, can we sell some of our stuff at your space?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. I think that the focus right now has just been, let's get started. Let's get all the things done.
Right. We're just getting our ducks in a row.
We're trying to be very official. We want to make sure we have all of our permits and taxes, and that's a lot of work. And we're working right now on getting memberships and raising support. So as we put on these events, we're starting to meet new people in the community who want to participate in that. Yeah. And the goal is to even have an online shopping for that and have regular hours, like I said. So it's we've only been open a month, so that's probably the work in progress.
Right. I was just thinking as we're recording this, the day we're recording this, you're coming up on only 1 month in operation. So we're still in the infancy of this space.
We've got a lot done. Pat on the back.
We've got a lot done.
And you've had shows every weekend, right?
Yep, every weekend.
Yeah. You don't do any shows during the week, do you? On occasion?
I have exceptions, like if there's a touring band.
Okay.
Like July 17th, I believe it's either a Wednesday or a Thursday. Do you know?
I don't know.
It's either a Wednesday or a Thursday. Mile End from Canada is coming.
Oh, cool.
So
we were talking about Canadian artists the other day.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
So we make exceptions, but
okay.
Yeah.
We're trying, we want to be really good neighbors in the Majestic, and most of the businesses there close at 5 or 6, so we try to accommodate that. The wine bar downstairs closes at 8, so we try to start at 7:30 on weekdays and 8 o'clock on weekends, just to try to be really good neighbors and make sure that we're not hurting their business, because we are loud, and it's an old building, so it's a loud space, and a lot of people have torn out their ceilings for aesthetics. So I mean, it's a wonderful place, but we actually chose that place because it operates as a community, and it vibed so well with what we were trying to do, and the owners were so supportive, and the other businesses have been so supportive. So
huge shout out to the Majestic.
Yeah,
they've been great.
Were there other spaces that you guys looked at, or was it just kind of like you were like, we really like the Majestic building, let's look into it, and then it just worked out? Or
well, originally we were unsure about the Majestic.
Oh, okay.
And then we got a tour, and Marcy showed us around, and we were just like, "Wow!" It's like this will work.
Yeah, I think. So I'm a full-time teacher, so I had the summer to work on this, and I'm also not a person who wants to sit and plan for a year and then nothing maybe happens. So the goal was to really just jump in, and the price was right, and we felt like we had the support of that community, and it's downtown, and it kind of checked the boxes for our space. It's not huge. We wanted a small, like, DIY space. We have our own staircase. There are a lot of really good things about that space. We don't have to maintain the bathrooms. There's a lot of room for collaboration. They have offered us, let us know. We'll let you do a benefit in the main theater, or we'll let you use the downstairs for a pop-up shop, So there's so much room for collaboration. I think we were just really wowed right away by the willingness to, make that space great. So we didn't look around too much because we just needed to start or it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. That's kind of our thing. We just got to start.
We just got to start.
Yeah.
Getting started sometimes is half the battle.
Right.
So I'm really glad that you guys have had good luck so far.
Yeah.
And the Majestic and everyone's been inviting. So obviously both of you are involved, but there's other people involved too, right? Do you have like a board or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a board for our nonprofit. And we will probably eventually have to have separate, probably not a board, but something for our for-profit. But yeah, we have a board of 7 people, I think. And we had our first board meeting and wrote our bylaws. And so that's really good. Did you want me to name those people?
That's up to you. I was just curious in how the operation works.
We're trying really hard to involve the community. Actually, James is not on the board because I didn't want mother and son to be on the board.
Yeah.
And I just also felt like he's doing his thing and he's new, he's just graduated. I don't want to put like those burdens on him. So
Well, keep transparency too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And one of the reasons for having a board of variety of people is that we really want the community to be aware that we're a space that welcomes all kinds of people. So we have Brian Prairie, who works with you.
Yes, and so does James. I didn't mention that, but James is a member of Pathfinder here.
This is true.
Yeah, and he does great work. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Matt Yates, who is a local touring artist. Is that his title?
Yeah, he does. He tours with bands and does like drum tech.
Man, I haven't seen Matt in years.
He's been a huge supporter of ours.
That's great. Yeah, Matt has a lot of experience. He's done a lot of cool things.
Matt Yates is the best.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember some of was it Dashboard Confessional he played for a while,
yeah, he did
right?
Tour with them.
Yeah. Trying to remember. There's some other big names I know
he's touring. Drums. I'm pretty sure he's done drum tech stuff for Bonnie Raitt for a while now.
Okay.
I almost said one that I'm not sure if is announced yet. He's doing a lot of,
like I said, he's done big names and, done tours overseas and things like that.
He's done it for Death Cab.
He's not here a lot, but whenever I feel really discouraged, I text him and he's like, "You're changing the world. You're so great."
This is true.
Don't worry about it.
I'm really glad to hear you have Matt Yates on. So if there's anyone, my age that's listening to this, maybe in their 30s or 40s, you probably remember Matt Yates from, the all ages music scene in the 2000s. And he played in a band called Kenya's Finest. And I think some others too, but that's always the one that comes up in my head. And so, his roots are right where James is at now. So he can relate.
Yeah.
And he can, throw.
He's a great mentor.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So
I'm really
we have
glad to hear that.
And then we have Gabe Sturck, who's huge in the local music scene and bandmates with James. And
he's also my best friend.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really important that we have multi-generational on the board. So we
absolutely.
Have him. And then we have my best friend, who's April Van Heemst, and she's local in the community, and she's such a details person, such an arts person, so easygoing. And then we have Michelle Cooper, who's our treasurer and just has such a heart for the community. Am I missing someone? Oh, Rhonda Love, who's a retired attorney and has a real passion for the arts as well. Her son goes to the Art Institute. And so we are not a board that decides every single detail, but a planning board and a deciding the big things board. And so, that's how it's working. But I hope that answered your question.
No, you asked, no, you definitely answered my question. I think, talking on the board and talking about the community, and going back to the importance of the community being involved with this is really what's going to help keep it afloat and keep it growing.
Without the community, we can't do it.
Right. Yeah. So I would say the biggest challenges that a lot of all ages spaces face is they're not relying on alcohol sales or gambling machines, things like that are usually an easier income for other local businesses to have a steady stream of income. So like you're relying more on like people showing up to shows.
Yeah. And I feel like if you're doing something that's awesome and important, you shouldn't have to rely on alcohol sales, gambling sales. Like if you're doing something that people really care about, then that doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're a person who is not trying to make money.
Yeah.
We're not trying to make money.
We're trying to give back to the community.
Yeah. I'm just saying it just, those are, I won't say they're the easiest sources of income for venue spaces, but
it's definitely a go-to.
It's definitely an easier way to bring revenue in. And when you don't have those things, you are kind of faced with, okay, what else can we do to generate revenue to make sure we stay open and things like that. So that's really why it's even more important to get the community involved and really to have that.
Yeah, it's huge.
That in there. So that's really I just wanted to stress that's why it's so important to get the community involved into this. So I guess we touched on this maybe a little bit, like short-term, long-term goals. But what if you want to be like more exact on what some of those things are currently that you're planning or working on that maybe you want to share?
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
You can go first so I can think.
Oh, okay. My short-term goals are to get all of the necessary things done to keep us going. Make sure we get all our inspections, all that. Another short-term goal is just to have quite a few events. So we're putting on a lot of events to see what the public is really interested in right now. Some of the long-term goals are mentoring students. We want to partner with the schools or partner with other local places to make sure there's a wide variety of students being mentored and challenged. We'd like to include theater in that on a small scale. I would really like to see as an arts collaboration, older generation artists mentoring younger generation artists, working together on projects for the community. So one of the first things, we're hoping to do a family art Saturday during the farmers market. And so we'll have a host family and a project, and people can just drop in with their whole family. So that's one of our first art events. And then just finding people who are passionate about leading things. I do not want to be in charge of everything, and I never do want that. So, the goal is to find people who are passionate about, doing a sing-along or leading this thing for the community or, doing this art class. I think we have a doodle workshop coming up and a Charlie Harper art night. I'm passionate about meet the artist kind of situation. So we have that happening. Every Tuesday morning we have coffee and chill, which you can bring your own coffee and bring your own things to work on or to, So I think right now it's just having events, promoting events, and seeing what works, and then a lot of future dreams. So I don't know. I am a dreamer and an idea person.
And
so we'll see what happens.
I was going to say James is the same way. I would love to hear what James's short-term and long-term goals. Yeah. I really, because you're on the music side of things for this ColLAB space. So, what are your short-term, long-term dreams, goals?
For me, my short-term goals are just to get people in the space, to get people familiarized with it, sell out some shows. That'd be really cool. There's some bands that I want to get. So that's kind of my short-term. My long-term is more just like I really am passionate about reaching out to people younger than myself, like junior high even. So finding a way to do that, maybe partnering with schools, school band programs, things like that. I would like to partner with the Rock and Roll Emporium, maybe do a pop-up or something. I would love to do a record pop-up. That would be really cool.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Vinyl's so big right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. It would be awesome to get to a point where we outgrow the space we're in and we had to give it a bigger space. That would be really cool. This is all just stuff that I think about. I'm like, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome to do.
Yeah.
So
that's cool, man. I would love to see that for you guys as well.
Yeah.
So, since we're on the topic, let's talk more about like the local all ages music scene then.
Yeah.
What are some bands? I mean, I know you are yourself are in quite a few different bands, but like as far as local bands in the all ages scene though, what does that look like right now, and what are some of those bands?
Well, there's not a ton.
Right.
We're working on that, and
well, now that they have a place to play,
Right.
that might change.
That was the idea. Is I've seen it in other communities. Once there's a space, kids start finding it, and they're like, they see their friends doing it, they're like, I want to do that. And so they start doing it, and then their friends see them, and they're like, I want to do that. And they start doing it. And like Springfield specifically has done that a lot at Dumb Records. And they have like they sell out like a lot of shows, and it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see that community. And like they have bands like, when their bands play Indiana, all their friends go to see them. You know what I mean? Because it's such a strong community. And I want to do that. That's what we're aiming for. So I know since we've started, there have been a few more bands come out of the woodworks. One of them being Polly Rockets. Another band called Teenage Lobotomy they're starting to get started a little bit. So we're just starting with more of my friends, and their friends are kind of seeing them, and it's just
Don't you love seeing that passion?
I know, I do.
It's really exciting to me. It's awesome.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
If you see him play music too, he's like
yeah, I'm just
kind of in heaven, when he plays.
Well, and just you yourself personally, you play drums, but you'll also people will see you on a bass.
Yeah,
they'll see you on guitar. They'll see you singing.
Yep.
So you
doing everything.
You're doing all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
And
he writes his own music and plays his own.
Right. Yeah, you've got your own solo stuff on top of that as well.
Yeah.
People can listen on Spotify. You do go under a name though, right? It's not your name.
It's just James Leroy.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason I thought it
You're
was.
You're thinking of Banana Soup Boy.
That's what I'm thinking of.
That was my Instagram handle from 8th grade all the way until last week when I changed it.
Yeah.
I did notice you changed it because I'm like, oh, it's like, that's James, but it's not his handle.
So much hate
yes,
for changing it.
Yes.
Dude.
You know why?
Bring back Banana Soup Boy.
It's
Bring it back.
When he first started going to shows, I bought him this banana costume, and he wore it all the time.
Yeah, I was just going to ska shows in a banana
I was
suit.
going to say, were you going to ska shows?
Yes, I was.
Yes.
Was it like Mustard Plug shows? Because
it was Devin K and the Solutions from Chicago.
Okay.
Yep.
The sweetest guys.
I think
I've probably heard of them.
No, I've definitely heard of them. I was just trying to remember if when I was hosting Pop Punk and Pizza, I want to say I had Devin.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
On the podcast. I played their music on the podcast, but I was trying to remember if I interviewed him. Regardless. Yeah, I do know them. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're the best. Best
so
people.
Cool.
But that's why Banana Suit.
Yeah, you're right. You just never know what you're going to see when you go to a ska punk show.
Oh, yeah.
And Banana Suit, guy wearing the checkered suit, you know, you see those guys.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are some, as far as like financial stability, and, you know, you mentioned like memberships and things like that earlier. What are some of those things going to look like as far as like a membership goes?
We are trying to do like a 4-part finance plan right now. So we're hiring bands and taking, you know, and that's a fundraiser for us. So we're hoping to get 1/4 of our income from that, and hopefully we'll get to the point where we can charge less for shows because we're getting, you know, we'd like to get to the point where we have more money towards bands and more music for less. But
bringing back the
right.
$5 cover.
Yes.
That's something I want
the goal.
to. That's something I want to mention. If someone's listening to this and they can't afford to come to one of our shows, hit me up.
Yeah, we'll let you work.
I'll put you to work.
Yeah.
You can come for free.
Oh, dude,
we want the whole community to be able to come.
Yeah.
As someone who facilitated and organized plenty of shows back in the day, I could have used so many hands back in that day, you know, because like I would do everything for the show. Like I'd have to provide the PA and you know, run the door and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So cool.
So we have a 4th that way. We are doing a membership. We have different tiers, and mostly they support the space. There are benefits with each of them, especially for musicians being able to use it as a practice space, or being able to do music lessons, or, you know, obviously it is not a moneymaker in our nonprofit space. So, but we do have memberships, and we'd like at least 1/4 of our income for that. And we have a lot of people who've already signed up in our community that are just so passionate about what we're doing that they just want to support us monthly, which is wonderful. And then obviously our retail space, we'll have a commission based on that. And any pop-ups will get a commission. We also have our own merch now. And so we just recently had a clothing exchange and vintage pop-up, and someone donated like 20 vintage dresses, and we made money on that.
That's awesome.
So we really need kind of everything. We need your time. We need you to come to events. We need you to drop off ice or a case of pop that we can sell, or we need you to, you know, support us financially or volunteer to work in our shop. We need you to sell your stuff there, you know, and so the last chunk would be donations and grants, and we have our treasurer is actually going back to school to learn how to grant write for that.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah. So we
oh, great.
Right now we had a wonderful gift from the city of Kankakee Development Corporation, the city development.
KDC
yes.
is the acronym. Yeah.
Right. So they have a rent match program that has really helped us get started. And so, that's how we're trying to fund things, and, you know, hopefully be able to donate, be able to have people buy a day in memory of a loved one or in memory of an artist. So we have a lot of great ideas. And so that's kind of how we're trying to do things.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's so great. It makes me so happy that you know, it honestly makes me want to come out of retirement too.
Yeah. Do it.
Come play.
I've been teasing James and saying, hey, like, you know, if I come out of retirement, I'm going to make you play in the band.
Yeah,
I will.
Know, so.
I'll add a 6th band to my plate.
Yeah, you can handle that.
I can do it.
No big deal.
One of the things we've been mulling over is having like a 90s emo fundraiser, like an awesome, get some bands to play. And, you know, so we got big ideas.
Yeah. You know, it would be cool to do like a big reunion show of a bunch of local bands that, you know, it's so funny. I ran into he might be listening. Ryan, if you are listening, I ran into him. He used to play in a band called Pilgrims here in the local scene. And he was, we were talking and he was rattling off a bunch of bands that we used to play shows with, and these were names like I hadn't thought of in decades. And
Yeah.
he, like,
triggered memories.
yeah, triggered memories, and he had some of their music in like his Dropbox, and he shared it with me the other day, and I'm just like, man, like one of the bands was like Whatever Heather. And it's just a name I was like, I haven't even thought about that name in like 50. Yeah, it's just all these bands that I had not thought of in forever. And I'm just like,
I want to get the Whittingtons out of retirement.
yeah, do they? Oh, I haven't seen their name in a while.
I haven't either.
It. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I could go back even further and get some bands out of retirement.
Oh,
Although they don't all live here anymore.
You
But
see, that's the problem.
We've got a great music heritage. I went to high school with Brad Breek, who writes and lives in California, and he has a band. And then we have a lot of our local scene from the 90s still connected, still friends, still talking. And then we've got this great heritage of having that great movement in Champaign during the 90s. Really
Champaign.
Great music.
Yes,
and that's so close
true.
to us. So a lot of those bands came through here and know about Kankakee. So
Yeah, that's very true.
it's so fun.
Yeah, we went to see Braid at the Metro, and I think were we talking to Bob Nana about being in Kankakee, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I think we went through there."
Probably.
Like when we were still like fully doing it, and I was like, "That's so funny, you even remember that."
That was actually a really funny show because that's my favorite band, and James and I went together to the reunion show. But it happened to be
Mexican
Mexico's
Independence
Day.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So they had Lakeshore Drive closed. So it was like a minor miracle we got through.
It took us like 3 hours to get there.
Oh my
and we had to like it was really crazy. But we got there and we walked in right when they were playing the first song, and my husband's on the phone with us like, I bought you a parking space right across the street at this place, so just go in. And it was a really fun thing for us.
That's really
to do
funny.
together, 'cause
That's so
how many
cool.
people think like their favorite band of when they were in their teens and 20s, someday they'll be going to a show with their son who
Right.
loves that music too and knows all the words and wants to be in the front with you.
Yeah, that's why I love going to Green Day shows, because
Yeah.
you see a lot,
of fans.
Yeah.
a lot of
Every
that.
generation.
You see every generation at a Green Day show.
Yeah,
and
totally.
that's why I love going to
And
those.
I want to mention to parents especially, like, this is something important to nurture. If your child has an interest in music that doesn't really fit in with the normal, that doesn't mean there's something amiss. Come and hang out. There are so many places in the Majestic you can hang out while your kids are there.
Go to the wine bar.
Yeah, go to the wine bar, go to
You
Flanagan's.
can go to Flanagan's. You can just sit out in the main space. There's chairs there. And you can talk to other parents who know what's happening. We actually did this at our home for a while, and we never had one problem. It's a wonderful, wonderful group of kids who are just looking for a place to have an outlet and be creative. And so parents are very welcome to come and hang out too. You don't have to be in the venue. You can just be, there's places to be.
Yeah.
There's places to be.
Yes, absolutely. I could not agree more with that. So if people want to get involved, they want to contact you, what's the best way to do that?
Our website?
Yeah, our website.
Our email?
Our website has 4 forms. You can sign up to volunteer. You can sign up to use our meeting space, especially if you're a nonprofit organization or you're not making money off of our space. So volunteer space, there's a membership application and the specifications for that. And I think there's a band intake form.
Yeah, but you can also just if anyone listening knows my Instagram or our email, they can do that.
R.I.P. Banana Suit Boy.
Yeah, we have Instagram and Facebook. He manages Instagram. I did the Facebook.
Yeah.
And then, but the official forms are on our website, which has 1 L instead of 2 because I was really tired when I made that. So.
Oh, really? That's the
So it's
okay.
Kankakee Arts ColLAB with 1 L, and I eventually will change that, but it just hasn't been the priority. So.
Gotcha. And they can find you on Facebook and
Instagram
as
Yep.
well.
Instagram.
There's a Kankakee Arts ColLAB Instagram. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I'm following. I'm not sure if I'm following that one yet, but I'm going to if I haven't. I know I'm following the Facebook page.
Yeah, I try to keep everything as up to date on Instagram as possible.
Sure.
I try to do that for
absolutely.
Facebook. And sometimes we'll create events if we don't think people are seeing it. So But yeah, our calendar events is on our website, so you can see everything that's happening for the month. And if you want a paper calendar to put in your business, we can do that. So yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Mary and James, Leroy, this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
On, getting started with this. Yeah. And honestly, if there's anything that I can do to help with the ColLAB, let me know, because I really think this is great. Mm-hmm. So, it'll be great for Kankakee.
It will be great for Kankakee.
It is great.
It is great. Well, right. Kankakee. It already is great. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Of course.
That concludes this episode of Kankakee Podcast. I'm Jake LaMore. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Kankakee Podcast. Shout out to Stephanie Vanderweide for supporting the show each month through Patreon. If you want your name announced on a future episode, you can sign up at patreon.com/Kankakee Podcast. Special thanks to our sponsors, Chicago Dough Company, Noble Dairy Queen Stores, Frank's Appliance Center and Sleep Source, Pigosh Engineering, King Music, Little Me Studio, Taco John's, D. Westfall Jewelers, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor Adam Elroy. Kankakee Podcast is produced by the fine team at Pathfinder, a full-service marketing agency in downtown Kankakee. Learn more at yourpathfinder.io. Our theme song is by Lupe Carroll.
This river